Hey guys, it's COREROSS and What's Next News. So today we've got a huge drop of information and this even goes into year 11. So this is an update to the Siege community. So obviously behind the scenes and in public, I don't think things are going great for Rainbow Six Siege right now. So we get our usual blurb here that you can read, and I'll have this linked in the description below. But interestingly, they go over three things here. It's anti-cheat, balancing, and ranked. So the good thing is mid-season balancing is coming back. And ranked is getting an overhaul. So we'll go over everything they reveal here, and we've got a lot to talk about. So first of all, anti-cheat. And I don't think we'll spend much time on this because it's the usual, we're trying to fix stuff and things are not going too well, but we're doing our best. But they actually focus a lot on marketplace exploits, which is interesting. I know there has been exploits, but I've got no idea what they actually involve, but certainly it seems to have been some sort of issue. And they also talk about going after high-profile cheat makers, which is the usual thing as well. So I don't think it's actually worth discussing because the reality is you need to see the actual changes in the gameplay that you are seeing. However, this piece here, balancing, this is one of the more interesting and bigger bits of information. So first of all, patch 3.3 is coming out October 14th, and it is a mid-season balancing. And the great thing is, they're buffing people. And they say that they're reverting Daenerys' nerf, which is awesome. I think he has been over-nerfed, and I've said that in my previous videos. And they say we reacted a little too quickly in tuning him based on what we saw on the test server. Now, this is interesting because we just had a nerf, of course, a couple of weeks back with the patch. So is that the nerf they're reverting, or are they reverting back a nerf from the test server? Because honestly, I would take the increased damage over the reversion of the recent nerf, which was the lasers don't activate, which is that the servers take a second to reconnect after they've been blocked by something. And I'm quite okay with that, to be honest. I would take back the damage if I could. They're also giving his Glaive 12 another buff. This is excellent because it is a bit of a weak weapon, but I wonder what the buff is. I would, if I was to choose something, push out the damage drop-off. That would be what I would do, because right now, it's essentially a shotgun, but just with one big pellet. So it'll be interesting to see what they do to buff Daenerys, but I'm very happy he's going to get buffed. I think he should. And I think they were just, certainly a little bit too overzealous in the nerfs. And it's good to see them actually reacting quickly here, because they could have taken years, back in the day to rebuff an operator. They're also looking to buff Solus. Certainly, I think that she's not getting played at all now. I play her every so often, but it's very rare, whereas I used to play her quite a bit. But she's going to be in her impact grenades back. So that's great, but it's, not a huge improvement. And then they say year 10 season 4, which is next season, that'll be shown off in November, probably launch early December. They're going to be buffing Thermite, Hibana, and Maverick. So the Ace will have more competition. Ace right now, I believe he is like the most banned attacker, so they probably want to bring these guys up into a similar level. And honestly, I also think they need a new hard breacher at some point in the future too, probably within the next year. But I will say, I'm curious about what the buffs are here. We know that one of the OG attackers is getting a rework in season 4. We've been thinking it might end up being Thatcher. So is Thatcher getting changed that will result in these guys getting buffed? Or is it there's some sort of buff for Thermite, some sort of buff for Hibana, some sort of buff for Maverick? I feel like they're going to change maybe how hard breaching is overall done, which will change these guys into being better than they currently are. And then this here is on the roadmap. It has been since the roadmap was revealed in the middle of the year this time. So that is that they're going to be introducing a new playlist, which is called Testing Grounds. It's essentially the test server, but in the game. It just means that there's going to be a playlist there where it tests the new stuff. One of those things will be armor and speed changes. So, of course, armor and speed has changed previously in the game. It's not what the OG was. I'll be curious to see what this is going to be. But this has been previously announced, so yeah, we'll find out. But the best thing about this is the return of mid-season balancing, which is going to be coming next week on October 14th. I also assume this gives away when the new Halloween event will come out, because it'll probably be October 15th, because I think this patch will add the Halloween event into the game. And then we have major changes to ranked. So they talk about doing a ranked overhaul. If I can get my words up. So I'm going to call this rank 3.0 for now, just to make it a bit easier to put out there. So they say Rank 2.0 hasn't hit the mark yet, and we're working on major changes. Yeah, saying hit the mark yet makes it feel like, yeah, someday it will, where I just don't think the players are going to ever think of it as good. So there'll be matchmaking updates to start in Season 4, with more meaningful updates on the way. So something will be hitting in Season 4 for the changes, not necessarily at the launch of Season 4, and then other stuff will come in the future. So we'll see what ends up being the case here. So we're talking about stuff well off into the future here. So first of all, in Season 4, matchmaking will get more specific with ranked, and squad size will become a factor. I am extremely interested in how this part will work, because I solo queue, and if I end up getting easier matches when this season comes out, that will be very interesting. But I'm also assuming it might not work as well as I would like, so we'll see. But this could be very interesting for us solo queue people. And then we have what I think is the big one here, where they say we are actively developing what we call ranked overhaul. So an overhaul, to me, makes me think they're changing the entire system, which makes me think I would probably just call it rank 3.0. If you're doing an overhaul, then it feels like it. So I'm assuming it's probably not an overhaul. It's probably more of a visual change they're going to do, but we'll certainly see. And they say that their objective is to offer visible ranked reward progression. I'm not sure what this means, because you can already see that in the game. You go to your careers page, you go to rank, you can see what rewards you've unlocked. So what is visible ranked reward progression? Doesn't sound like a massively improved thing. However, this is interesting. Visible skill progression. So this is the big one, because first of all, if I could choose, I would have the skill rating be visible. Like, just have it literally be visible so you can see what it is. You can see it go up, you can see it go down, just like you do with your rank. Now, I think over a year ago, I had a call with the devs with a couple other content creators, and we talked about ranked and what we could maybe do to make it better, or what we'd suggest. And one of my suggestions was make the skill visible. But if you're not going to make it visible, at least show if it's going up or down, right? Show if it's going up or down a lot, show if it's going up and down a small amount, so that I can get an idea of how my skill is evolving over time. So let's say I play incredibly good and beat what I think is a better team than me, and I find out, yeah, at the end of the game, it says your skill rank has gone up more because you faced off against a higher skill team. That would be cool. But if I get my ass kicked by a total noob team and it shows me that skill rating actually went down considerably because I lost to a really bad team, that'd also be kind of cool. But all of this right now, I don't know if it'll fix any of the problems that people have with Rank 2.0. Offering visible ranked rewards progression, I don't think that's going to fix any of the issues people have. And seeing your skill going up or down with some sort of visual skill progression might help. Might. If it was fully visible, I think it'd be really good. If it's partially visible and it's at least letting me know it's going up and down at a certain amount, that might be good. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. So we'll see. You'll also note there's no Season 4 on this. So this is probably Year 11. And I would imagine quite a bit into Year 11. I don't know if this is going to show up early. I think this is like at least 6 to 8 months away, if not more. I think this is probably 6 to 9 months away. And they say that player consultations are in progress with the new system, and they'll be running workshops during the Munich major to further refine the design. This is good, like actually getting players who are there at the actual event to take part in this. I think that's a great idea, and those are the hardcore players going to the events, so probably very, very good. That might mean we also get a better understanding from players who are attending these events on exactly what they are looking to change in game and give us an idea of how it's going to be. And they say we aim to have the ranked overhaul live in the first half of Year 11. So yeah, from today, that's about 9 months away. And then we have our final thoughts here. They talk about how this year was all about launching the new Foundation update. So interestingly, they don't mention CGX. Like, CGX was this big thing, big rebrand, big name change. They don't mention it. They could have said, instead of, update, they could have said CGX. But they've kind of gone away from that. I think that's a deliberate move away from the CGX stuff. And they say that recent seasonal content has understandably felt light. Yeah, it's not felt light. It has been light. Very marketing speak here, trying to not be like, yeah, it has been light on content. It's felt light on content. So especially for veteran players, I'd say for all players, like veteran players remember the days when they got like 8 operators a year, and that might make a difference. But new players are also noticing that there is not that much to check out in Siege. We are looking at adjusting our seasonal approach to bring more substance to mid-season updates, and we'll share more on this topic during the November Munich Major. So yeah, I'm really happy that it looks like mid-season balancing is back, especially of course from this year, saying there is changes coming with the next patch for at least 2 operators, so that's great. But it'd be nice to just have that mid-season, of course, coming back in a stronger way. And they say that this update basically doesn't have everything that they're looking to do in the future, and they're hoping, obviously, to build Siege into the best it can be. So yeah, my takeaway here is this is good. I like getting these kind of updates with some actual interesting future stuff in them. But reading through it also makes me a little bit worried that they're still kind of missing the stuff that people are annoyed by. So there is a few problems here and there, but this is definitely more positive. I'm also not expecting year 11 to be packed with content or anything like that. I think it'll probably be more of a normal year. I would hope that the development time that was going into CGX can get put into like different things like new limited time events or stuff like that. But one thing that I'm extremely curious about is the new Battlefield game coming out, because if it were to pull a bunch of the players from Siege, I would hope that might revitalize the idea that this game needs a bit more content to keep itself in the running for, still being a nice profitable game for Ubisoft. So fingers crossed that Battlefield doesn't mess it up this time around. But anyway guys, let me know what you think of all this in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.